Have you ever found yourself staring at the wall, fully aware of what you need to do, and yet, doing nothing? As if some invisible force is holding you hostage while time slips through your fingers. It starts small. Just 5 more minutes. A little scroll through your phone. A snack. A nap. Before you know it, the day is gone, and the task remains untouched, quietly mocking you from the corner of your mind. You feel guilt, shame, anxiety. But still, tomorrow. Tomorrow, you'll start. Definitely. Probably. That's procrastination. And it's not laziness. It's not just poor time management. It's a deeper enemy, hiding behind a mask of comfort. It whispers that you're not ready yet, that you need more time, more energy, more motivation. But those things never come. They're illusions, and procrastination is the thief that sells them to you, cheaply, daily, endlessly. The ancient Stoics would have had no patience for this kind of self-deception. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire while fighting wars and writing one of the greatest philosophical works of all time, wrote in his journal, "You could be good today. But instead you choose tomorrow." There's no room for waiting in Stoicism. No room for hesitation in the face of life's demands. Because hesitation is decay. It is the slow erosion of your willpower and self-respect. Procrastination kills dreams not with loud explosions, but with quiet suffocation. A missed opportunity here. A neglected goal there. You don't notice the damage until years pass and you look back, not at what you built, but what you avoided. The book unwritten. The job never pursued. The fitness never achieved. The words never spoken. All buried under a mountain of distractions and excuses. But why do we do it? Why do we avoid the very things we claim to want? The answer is discomfort. Real effort hurts. Growth hurts. Facing your fears, confronting your weaknesses, striving for something beyond your current state, these things are hard. So the mind retreats. It chooses safety, even if that safety is bitter and empty. And yet, the Stoics teach us that our discomfort is not an enemy. It is a compass. It points directly at the thing we must do. Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Every time you put something off, you're not just avoiding the task, you're avoiding the chance to become more than you are. Here's the truth, your life is shrinking or expanding with every choice you make. When you procrastinate, you are choosing to shrink. You are choosing to become smaller, quieter, more passive. And over time, that becomes who you are. Not someone who delays, but someone who never dares. There's a kind of death in procrastination. A death of potential. A death of purpose. And if you don't fight it, it will win. Not all at once, but slowly, over years, until you can't even remember what you once wanted, or who you could have been. So how do we fight it? Not with willpower alone. Willpower fades. But with philosophy. With clarity. With discipline. You need to understand, deeply, what you are doing each time you procrastinate. You are making a trade. You are selling your future for the comfort of the present. And it's never a fair deal. To overcome procrastination, you don't need more time. You don't need more energy. You need more honesty. Honesty with yourself. You need to look at your excuses and see them for what they are, lies. You need to look at your fear and stop running from it. You need to look at the ticking clock and realize, this moment will never return. The Stoics would tell you, life is not waiting for you. It never has been. It is moving. Brutally. Beautifully. And you are either moving with it or against it. There is no pause. There is no rewind. You don't need a productivity app. You need a confrontation, with your own cowardice, your own avoidance, your own internal resistance. And that confrontation won't be pleasant. But it will be necessary. And here's the good news, the moment you stop waiting, your life begins. The second you say, now, the war is won, because procrastination feeds on delay. It cannot survive in action. Even the smallest step breaks its grip. Even the slightest movement proves it wrong. So don't think. Don't overanalyze. Don't wait for the right mood. Move. Begin. That's all. As Epictetus said, how long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Tomorrow is not coming. Only today exists. And you are wasting it. The enemy is not the task. The enemy is the delay. It's not the project that overwhelms you. It's the story you tell yourself about it. You say it's too much, too long, too boring, too difficult. But the task hasn't changed. Only your attitude has. And your attitude, your mental posture toward the world, is the only thing you truly control. That's what the Stoics believed. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you set your sail. You can't control the mountain, but you can control your legs. So when you sit there and say, I just can't start, what you're really saying is, I haven't decided to begin. The truth? You don't need motivation. You don't need to feel like doing it. You don't even need confidence. You need one thing, momentum. Because motion creates clarity. Action creates motivation. Not the other way around. When you take that first uncomfortable step, open the laptop, lace the shoes, make the call, your brain shifts. Resistance loses its grip. The fog clears. The pain fades. And you realize, it wasn't the task that hurt, it was the waiting. Every moment you wait, you strengthen the habit of avoidance. Every moment you act, you strengthen the habit of courage. Life is training you whether you realize it or not. And every choice is a vote, for the person you will become. Epictetus taught that we must divide the world into two parts, what we can control, and what we cannot. The moment you waste time agonizing over the future, the outcome, or the judgment of others, you are paralyzed. But when you focus only on what you can do right now, on this breath, this minute, this task, you are free. Most people think procrastination is about perfectionism. About wanting to do things just right. But that's a lie we tell ourselves to sound noble. The truth is, procrastination is not about quality. It's about fear. Fear of failure. Fear of success. Fear of discomfort. Fear of facing ourselves. You wait because starting means you'll see the truth, that the task is harder than you imagined, that your skills are not yet perfect, that your fantasy doesn't match reality. And facing that hurts. So instead, you delay. You avoid. You hide. But hiding doesn't heal. It just delays the inevitable. Whatever you avoid will grow in power. It will haunt your mind, drain your energy, pollute your mood. And still, it will wait. The work doesn't go away. The pain only compounds. So stop worshipping comfort. It has never made anyone great. What it gives you in the short term, it steals in the long run, your dreams, your integrity, your pride. You cannot be comfortable and grow at the same time. You have to choose. You think the cost of action is high. Look again. The cost of inaction is everything. A wasted hour. A wasted day. A wasted life. That's the price of waiting. No one will rescue you from your own delay. No one will build the dream you abandoned. No one will live the life you hesitated to claim. You're not running out of time, you're running out of excuses. So what do? You begin. Right now. Imperfectly. Clumsily. Without the guarantee of success. You take one step. Then another. You trust that the path will appear as you walk it. You don't need to conquer the whole mountain today. You only need to take the next step. As Marcus Aurelius said, don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that could possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand. The situation at hand is simple: start. Begin. Act. Because when you do, you start to change the story. You stop being the one who waits and become the one who moves. You stop being the victim of time and become its master. You will not always feel ready. Do it anyway. You will not always feel brave. Begin anyway. You will not always feel inspired. Work anyway. That's discipline. That's freedom. That's how you reclaim your life from the hands of delay. And here's a secret: the task you dread most is often the key to your transformation. That thing you keep putting off. It's the doorway. Behind it is the future you're chasing. But you can't get there by standing still. So stop asking how long it will take. Start asking how soon you can begin. You don't overcome procrastination by reading another book about it. Or by watching another video. You overcome it by standing up, walking to the battlefield, and doing the thing. Don't wait for a better mood. Create one through action. Don't wait for clarity. Clarity comes after you move. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Move through it. The Stoics didn't teach avoidance. They taught engagement. They taught that discomfort is not a sign to stop, but a sign you're exactly where you need to be. That the obstacle is not in the way, it is the way. So when you feel resistance rise up, don't run. Don't freeze. Smile. Because now you've found the edge. The place where the real work begins. And the real you. The strong you. The disciplined, focused, fulfilled you. That version is waiting, on the other side of action. Every minute you spend thinking about what you should do is a minute stolen from doing it. You sit. You overthink. You replay the idea in your mind like an endless movie trailer, never getting to the film. You analyze. You plan. You perfect. But you don't move. And that is the trap. Perfection is the disguise procrastination wears to sound noble. You tell yourself you're just being careful. Just being thorough. But what you're really being is afraid. And that fear doesn't need to be loud. It can whisper. Not yet. Not today. You're not ready. And because it sounds so reasonable, you obey. But here's the truth, nothing grows in planning. Growth happens in doing. You don't learn to swim by studying the water. You don't learn to live by thinking about life. At some point, you have to leap. The Stoics were not armchair philosophers. They were warriors, emperors, former slaves. Men who lived fully in the real world. For them, philosophy was not about speculation, it was about action. About character. About facing life head-on. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations as theory. He wrote them to remind himself, to act, to focus, to endure, to begin. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be, he said. Be one. That is the medicine for procrastination. Not more thought. More being. More doing. And no, it won't feel perfect when you start. That's not the point. Progress is never elegant at the beginning. It's rough. It's messy. But it's real. And it's better than the fantasy you've built in your head, the version of yourself who always starts tomorrow, always has potential, always could have. That person doesn't exist. What exists is now. This hour. This moment. This breath. So what if you fail? So what if it's hard? So what if you're uncomfortable? Pain sharpens. Discomfort teaches. Resistance builds muscle. That's the price of change. But the price of doing nothing is higher. It's regret. It's stagnation. It's becoming a ghost inside your own life. You were not born to wait. You were not born to rehearse. You were born to act, to stretch, to strive. The Stoics knew this deeply. Life is short, unpredictable, and brutal. But it is also beautiful, purposeful, and waiting for you to wake up. Seneca wrote, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." Imagine that. Life is moving, every second, whether you join it or not. Every time you put something off, you are saying no to living. No to growing. No to becoming. And you think you'll have time later. That's the biggest lie of all. There is no later. There is only the accumulation of habits, today repeated over and over until it becomes your identity. You are what you do, not what you intend. You are what you start, not what you dream about. You are not your goals. You are your routines. Your actions. Your repetitions. So build the muscle. The muscle of motion. Of movement. Of momentum. Start with 5 minutes. Start with something ugly. Start before you're ready. Just start. And when you want to stop, remind yourself, this is the moment where most people quit. And I'm not most people. You want to know who you are. Watch what you do when no one is watching. Watch what you do when the bed is warm, when the couch is soft, when the excuses are easy. That's your true self. And that's the self you must confront if you ever want to change. Don't make it dramatic. Don't wait for a life crisis to push you. Don't wait for fear to force your hand. Decide. Now. Not tomorrow morning. Not after one last distraction. Now. If your goal scares you, good. It should. That means it's worth something. That means it's bigger than your comfort zone. That means you're not wasting your life in mediocrity. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is the doorway. Walk through it. The moment you act in spite of fear, you become powerful. The moment you do the hard thing first, you become strong. The moment you choose discipline over delay, you become free. That's what most people don't understand. They think freedom is doing whatever you want. But the Stoics knew better. True freedom is mastery. Mastery of your time. Your choices. Your mind. The man who cannot get himself to start is not free. He is a prisoner of comfort. A slave to emotion. A victim of avoidance. But the man who moves anyway. The one who shows up every day, no matter what, and chips away at the thing that matters. That man is unstoppable. He doesn't need permission. He doesn't need perfect conditions. He doesn't need a guarantee. He just begins. And that's what you must do, begin again. And again. And again. Until beginning is no longer a battle. Until it becomes your way of being. Because in the end, that's what Stoicism is, not an idea, but a way. A daily choice to rise, to face the moment, and to meet it with courage. You will not get this day back. That's the truth. It may feel like just another Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Friday. But it's not. It's the only one of its kind you will ever live. And if you let it slip by in avoidance, in scrolling, in excuses, you don't just lose time. You lose a piece of yourself. Because procrastination isn't just a waste of hours. It's a form of self-betrayal. You know what needs to be done. You feel the pull of your better self, quietly asking to be heard. And when you ignore that voice, you weaken your trust in yourself. You become someone you can no longer believe. That's what makes procrastination so dangerous. It doesn't just kill your goals. It kills your relationship with yourself. Each delay is a broken promise. Each postponement is a small surrender. And over time, those tiny betrayals add up. Until you're no longer sure you can change. Until you become numb to the gap between what you want and what you do. But that gap, that tension, is your compass. It means you still care. It means the fire hasn't gone out. And the way back is not complicated. It begins with a choice. Not a grand decision. Not a New Year's resolution. A small act of defiance. You open the document. You write the first word. You step into the gym. You make the call. You take the risk. You do the thing. And the world doesn't explode. The sky doesn't fall. In fact, something magical happens. The fear shrinks. The doubt fades. And you remember, you were always capable. The Stoics taught that no one can rob you of your will. That your mind is yours alone, and how you use it is your greatest power. Epictetus lost everything, his freedom, his body, his status, but he refused to lose his inner strength. And that made him invincible. You have that same power. Right now. This second. To choose. To act. To begin. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to stop running. The world is full of noise. Distraction. Temptation. You will always be able to find a reason to delay. That will never change. But you can. You can decide that your future matters more than your comfort. You can decide that your potential is worth more than another hour of escape. You can decide that today, this ordinary, imperfect, beautiful day, is the day you begin again. And if you fall, begin again. If you doubt yourself, begin again. If you fail completely, begin again. Because the habit of beginning, over and over, will build a life no excuse can destroy. And slowly, the weight of inaction will lift. The fog will clear. The shame will lose its power. You'll start to feel something different, pride. Not the pride that shouts, but the quiet pride of someone who shows up. Who honors their time. Who doesn't run from the difficult. That's what it means to live with integrity. Not to be perfect, but to be present. To act when it's hard. To do what needs to be done, not someday, but now. You already know what you must do. You've always known. The only question is, will you do it? Because your life depends on the answer. You were not meant to waste away in hesitation. You were not meant to shrink into the background of your own story. You were made to live with urgency. With clarity. With purpose. So when the voice of delay returns, and it will, meet it with a new voice. A stronger one. The voice that says, yes, it's hard. But I'm doing it anyway. Yes, I'm scared. But I'm going forward anyway. Yes, I've failed before. But I rise again. This is the voice of a warrior. Of someone who understands that time is not infinite, and comfort is not the goal. Growth is. Fulfillment is. Becoming who you were meant to be is. And none of that happens tomorrow. It happens today. So get up. Breathe in. Take the first step. The world won't wait. And neither should you. Because your time has come, not when everything is perfect, not when the fear is gone, but now. Exactly now.